All right, welcome to Powered by Authenticity. How are you guys tonight? We are doing great here at the show. And one of the reasons why is because I have one of the most genuinely amazing, happy people that I've ever met. And I just have absolutely enjoyed my time getting to know amazing soul. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you for being here tonight.
Hi, Emily. Thank you guys so much for having me. I truly appreciate being here.
Yeah. So how's your week going?
It's been fun. I just got back from a trip from Nashville. That was my first time
Oh,
visiting, and that was
oh,
fun.
Nashville's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, how about tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yes. So my birth name is Wanu, but I do popularly go by Amazing Soul. I was born and raised in Lagos, Nigeria, and I moved here to the States probably almost a decade ago. Um, and I joined the army. I served for about 3 years, and my service led to my medical transition out of the military owing to a lower back pain, which I will further talk about later
Yeah.
on the show. And the pain brought me to my why, which is the mindfuck code, because the pain taught me a lot of things about myself, and it really showed me how to expand how I viewed my human experience. But yeah, that's the blip version of myself.
And where do you live? Where are you located?
I currently live in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Oh, I know it well. It's a beautiful part of the country.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. Well, we're so happy to have you here tonight. I can't wait to talk about all of the good things. We like to do a little icebreaker here at the show. And one
Okay.
of our we love to talk about food. I'm not even going to lie.
Me
Food
too.
is our jam. Do you have a favorite family recipe that you like to make?
I want, so that's a great question. I won't say a favorite family recipe. I
Mhm.
would say I love to cook. My favorite thing to cook is a Nigerian food called jollof rice. It is spicy.
Okay, tell me about it. Tell us.
It is hot. But it's also like a popular staple food in Nigeria. I love cooking jollof rice and some chicken, with some fried plantain. I love spicy food, anything rice. But yeah, that's my favorite thing to cook.
Okay, so Ken's here with me, and I have to say, our theory is the hotter the better.
Oh yeah, it is. I totally agree.
What's in it? Are there like different spices? What's the main?
So it's like you'll buy like different types of tomato, hot pepper, green pepper, yellow pepper, and you just blend it all. Before I blend it, I always put it in the oven.
Yeah.
So it really like sucks the whole thing and starts to smell good with some onions and some garlic. Then I blend everything. Then I put it on the fire and I allow it to like really cook. Then I parboil my rice with some bay leaves. Then I put everything together in like a pan, put it back in the oven, let it really simmer while the chicken is cooking. But
Oh,
it's a beauty. Like I really love the, but back in Nigeria, they actually make it with firewood, but obviously I don't have firewood here. Like you actually feel the firewood smell and taste while you're eating it, and it's spicy good. But yeah, that's kind of like the short version of how to make jollof rice.
all right. Well, I'm gonna look up a recipe, and I think it's gonna have to happen because that just sounds amazing.
It is. It is.
Oh my gosh. All right. Now, here's the time for producer Ken to chime in here. What is your favorite family recipe? Let's see if I know what he's gonna say.
One of my favorites is one I actually had to back in and learn how to make myself, which is my grandmother's dumplings.
Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
really delicious.
Like a white bread based. So you sort of chop it up, you leave it out overnight to stale up a little bit like you would stuffing. And then you add like eggs, flour, baking powder, and you
Oof.
sort of clump them together and make a giant ball. You
Yeah.
boil them.
Ah.
Yeah.
Really
My
good with Hassenpfeffer,
oh.
actually. Like stewed rabbit, squirrel. Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. So my mother-in-law's family came like direct from Germany. And so there's a lot of these recipes where there's no recipe for it, but she makes it once a year. So we're dependent on
Ah,
Ken sitting there documenting what it looks like.
I sat there and took a video of her making them and then had to sort of adjust the recipe.
Yeah.
Now that sounds very delicious.
Yeah. Yeah. I love it. I'm gonna go the sweet side. I'm gonna go back to my mom's brownie recipe because I love a good brownie, and it's probably the favorite one that I've ever seen, and just reminds me of her. So it's fun to always reminisce.
Love me some brownie.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, now that I'm sufficiently starving, but thank you for allowing us to ask a little question like that. We get to like to know people on a little bit of a personal basis, and so we find food brings people together too.
Oh,
It
yes.
really does. But all right, let's talk about the Mindfuck Company. I want to hear about this. Share.
Ah, okay, so I the Mindful Co it's less of a company and more of an awareness movement. And I'll share a little bit backstory
Yeah.
of what birthed the Mindful Co. So I did share earlier on I was in the military. So towards the end of my service, I while we were in a military exercise, I developed a lower back pain on towards the end of my service, and it was a sharp pain I'd never felt before. So the next day I went to the hospital. I'm like, hey, I don't know what this pain is about, but I would like some assistance to see what's going on in
Yeah.
my body. So they gave me a bunch of medications that, taking these meds, I will be fine. A few weeks went by. I went back and I'm like, this pain is fucking excruciating. I can't sleep
Oh
on my
no.
back, and I can't function as a human being. So they're like, okay, you know what? This seems like it's really a lot of pain. So what they did was they did give me a bunch of more medications, but they referred me to a bunch of brain specialists. They wanted to understand how the activities in my brain was connected to my lower back. I also did a bunch of MRI scans, X-rays, while taking medications, physical therapy, the whole 9 yards, everything you can logically think to fix pain. And I was
Yeah.
going to this doctor's appointment back to back for about a year. After a year, Emily, at this point, it had taken a huge toll on my mental and physical
Of
health.
course.
And
Yeah.
the army was like, hey, you can't physically serve anymore. We have to medically retire you after the army. So they moved me to the VA hospital. I was still seeing doctors, taking my medications, but I already hit rock bottom in my life. And at that point in my life, I knew that I couldn't see forward. I couldn't see how to move forward with my life. And fortunately for me, I met a mentor of mine. And I told him what was going on with my situation, and I explained my story to him, and he listened to me with so much empathy and compassion. And once I was done, he took a very long pause. He leaned in, looked me in the face, and he said to me, "You're full of shit.
Really?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
full of shit." I had the same expression, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And he said, "Until you truly start to take full responsibility and accountability of everything going on in your life, nothing is ever going to change." Emily, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. I,
Okay, there's the t-shirt I need.
I was furious, but that was my truth.
Yeah.
After that call, I looked into the mirror and I'm like, I'm done playing victim to this pain. I'm going to own my shit, because prior to that, I blamed the army for my pain. I blamed my parents for my pain. But the only person not willing to take personal responsibility of her pain and life was myself. And I just told myself, I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm done. So what did I do? I trashed all my medications in the garbage, every one of them. It wasn't working at this point, and I didn't have anything to lose.
Yeah.
I canceled all my doctor's appointments, everything. And I did something that I had been scared batshit to do. I sat with my feelings and I sat with my emotions for 1 week. I gave them a name. I allowed myself to be human. I cried, I screamed, I regulated my nervous system. I started to feel safe in my body. I had tea with my demons. I'm like, hey, I'm done running away from all of you. Come on, let's talk. Sit down. I gave the pain a name. I invited and reparented my inner child. That part of me that just wants to have fun and be human again. I mean, I really gave them space. I gave myself permission to be angry, to cry, to grieve, everything. And just giving myself that and holding space for compassion and kindness. And I also stopped lying to myself. And I think that's something that I used to lie to myself a lot. I stopped lying to myself. And just doing all that excruciating lower back, physical and emotional pain of 20 years stopped after 1 week. And ever since that day, Emily, I've been experiencing internal freedom, internal joy, and peace of mind that you can't put a freaking dollar sign on. And that's when my why, I had this light bulb moment. My why came into place. The Mind Fuck Co. Fun, compassion, and kindness. I truly feel it in my soul that if you don't know what to do next with your life, start with compassion and kindness. The next step will reveal itself to you. I am an embodiment to show people that to transform your life doesn't have to be complicated. It can be simple.
Yep.
Tools like awareness, just being aware of your thoughts, because your thoughts influences your behavior and your behavior creates your reality. It's just pure neuroscience. Just start being aware of your thoughts. Start to talk kindly to yourself. Shift like you're not a victim to the events in your life. You can actually shift how you see the things in your life. And once you can start to just simple tools on how to regulate your nervous system, right? Disrupt your patterns, get out of the loop that you're always in, because your thoughts is always in a loop in your brain. You
Yep.
can really start to create a different reality for yourself. And I am an example of that. And for me, the Mindful Core is simple. How you can lovingly disrupt yourself by feeling safe in your body, by regulating your nervous system and coming back home to yourself. You're not broken. There's nothing to fix. You just forgot. And there's nothing right or wrong about forgetting. But with the right tools, you start to remember. You start to
Yeah.
remember and start to respond to life than react. So yeah, fun is the baseline on how to teach people to come back home to themselves with love, love, love. But yeah.
Well, but the problem is the world. I love that. And first of all, I think that people need to take a little bit more time to actually focus on that perspective, because we're moving, we're so hard on ourselves. You look in the mirror, and instead of feeling like love and compassion and kindness towards yourself, you treat yourself probably worse than your worst enemy. But we don't take the time to stop and celebrate,
Yeah.
and realize that by turning that mindset into something more compassionate for ourselves, we can have a whole different life.
Yes.
Yeah. I think I saw a video of you on LinkedIn recently dancing.
Yes.
You I showed my husband, I was like, "I wanna be this in love with life."
Yes. I
Yeah.
was I found myself at a museum in downtown Nashville.
Okay.
And I just like, because I just got back from the trip yesterday, and I just saw this couple in the corner and they were dancing to a song, and I was like, I'm just gonna press record, and I don't care if I look silly, I'm just gonna dance. Move my body, like it's just one life. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. But I think to your point as well, being able to overcome that pain just by getting real with yourself and taking a week with the emotion and saying,
Yeah.
it's radiating from somewhere,
Yeah.
probably more up here than
Oh,
it
yeah.
is from a physical perspective. You know, I, the brain, this gets in our way so many times.
Yeah. I know. It really, really does. But at least from my experience with, I'm very nerdy about brain science.
Mm.
So my superpower, I like to say, is I would teach you fun ways of how to combine brain science and emotional intelligence. So for me, when people say the mind to me is not your brain. So you have your 3 pound brain in your body,
Mhm.
and you have, this is your physical body, right? Your mind is your energy field, right? It's what you're emitting. That's the thoughts is coming from your brain, right? Influencing your behavior, your body, and your reality, which is your experience, is emitting from your mind. That's why, you always hear people say, like, start to pay attention to your thoughts, because that's actually what's creating what you're experiencing. Because once you can start to interrupt that loop, you will start to experience life very differently. And for me, with the brain and my experience, the brain is wired to keep you safe, not happy. And I think people find it very challenging. So when I say that is, if, let's just say you have a habit of drinking a lot of coffee, right? And you've been drinking coffee for 5 years, and you just wake up one morning and be like, you know what? I don't want to drink coffee anymore. Your brain is like, girl, it doesn't work that way.
I feel
I'm
seen right
here,
now.
I'm here to keep you safe. And the more you judge that coffee drinking, your brain reinforces it. It's so counterproductive.
Yeah.
But I realized that because I can't do without my brain, as opposed to judging drinking coffee as bad or good, I started to shift my experience that I'm just having an experience. Shift my perspective. I'm just having an experience. So once I shifted how I saw the story, I started to work with my brain. So a little bit of brain science. It takes an average of probably about 66 days to create a new neural pathway in your brain. So what I started to do is lovingly approach the stories and the behavior. So I go drink coffee on autopilot. Now that I'm aware I want to stop it, before I go drink coffee, I'm aware of the thought. Now I will take a deep breath, probably about 90 seconds. Just breathe. I will still drink the coffee, right? I
Yep.
won't stop myself. But the more I breathe, just for 90 seconds before I do that habit, it gives your brain space to tell you that, hey, I'm not judging you. I'm just allowing myself have this experience. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just an experience. And over time, your brain is like, wait, you're not judging us? You are still drinking coffee? And over time, it just lets go of the grasp of that bad habit and because you're not judging it. So if you want to stop a bad habit, stop judging your brain. Give yourself space to just become aware, shift your perspective, the stories you're playing in your brain, and start to appreciate the experience. And over time, once your brain trusts you, it lets go of the habit, because I have applied this very simple technique on different habits that I do not want in my life. But I
Yeah.
have to show my brain compassion, and I know I can't do without it. So I can't judge it either. But yeah, that's kind of like my go-to with brain science, that I learned that it can be fun to actually let go of habits, but it takes a while, and consistency is the name of the game.
Yeah. I would think that's true for perspectives as well. When you're talking through that, I was thinking about how a lot of times the scenarios that we're building in our head are actually worse than the actual true situation that we're facing. And by stopping and taking a breath and just thinking, just like you said with the habit, I mean, it's truly a habit, right? We're negative self thoughts get in our way of our ability to have a positive reflection on something. So that's how I was thinking through that in my brain about how amazing it would be when we're facing those tough situations to take a step back, a deep breath. Something's going to happen anyways, but by changing our mindset, by just breathing and being for a minute, we're probably allowing a little bit more positive of a situation to come in than negative.
Yes, yes. And yes, we can always do that with compassion and kindness to
Amazing.
ourselves.
Oh, amazing. I love that. So I would have to imagine you're doing this work and you're seeing such positive things. Your network has to really help you here because this is so positive. So I would expect that you have had a positive experience by reaching out to your network and sharing your mission and sharing the great work that you're doing. Can you talk a little bit about how just opening yourself up to your network has helped you grow?
That's a great question, Emily. So I learned something from Oprah years ago, which I it stuck to me. If you can make people feel seen, heard, you really don't have to sell to them.
Yeah.
Um, you At least for me, the mission for the Mindful Co is a long-term game,
Yeah.
very long term, and I mean 5 to 10 years. And I'm just starting, and I'm just in year zero. And I know that the very first step is to build trust. That's going to
Yeah.
take a while,
Yeah.
and I'm very appreciative of LinkedIn because I've met some amazing people. But I have to, people have to trust you first.
Mhm.
And that takes a while.
Yep.
So for me, I have to be very patient with building this kind of brand. So for now, in terms of LinkedIn, meeting people, I just want to connect with you as a human being. That's it. I
Yeah.
just plant a seed. Maybe down the line, down the line, that seed that I planted, you can be like, you know what? I trust you enough that I feel like, I can hire you to be my mindset mentor, to
Yeah.
be my mirror so that you can help me in this stage of my life. But before someone can reach out to you to do that, they have to trust you. And how do they trust you? It's not by faking it, by
Right.
showing up the best authentic version of myself,
Yep.
seeing that I have applied these tools in my life, embodied them, because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna share something I never did. That's
Right.
just not
Yeah.
that's not my core values. And
Yeah.
over time, the more I just keep showing up, dropping expectation, I'm
Yeah.
seeing that trust is building. Just meeting people one day at a time. I just want to get to know your story. That's it.
Yeah.
But yeah, LinkedIn has been a
Yeah.
huge strategy for me to just build on that network and trust.
And isn't it amazing how when you're reaching out what I found on LinkedIn, what I still think that this is amazing. When you reach out to people on LinkedIn and say, "Can I spend 5 to 10 minutes with you? I just want to share stories. I just want to connect." People say yes.
Yeah,
And it's like and if they say no, that's okay too,
that's
but
okay.
people say yes, like, people want to connect with others, that there's that, I think, human connection desire that we have, and
Mhm.
to your point, what better way to start building trust than saying, "Hi, I like what you're doing. Can we talk about it?"
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
I think it's amazing, and also, I'm interested to hear your perspective on this. It blows my mind how apprehensive people are to actually just say hi to somebody on LinkedIn. Like,
Mm.
let your guard down. I think about this with my daughter because I can see her putting her guard up and being like, "Ah, they're never gonna wanna say hello to me. They're never going to." But yeah, they will. Like, give it a try, and if they say no, that's alright, move on to the next person, but, isn't it so awesome that we have this capability and, like, have this way to connect globally with people at this point in time?
Yes, it's so beautiful. And I struggled with that maybe a few years ago until I started to get over my fear of rejection.
Mhm.
Um, eh, and I started to, in my mind, when I interact with people, I don't see, I see Emily Carson, the person, but behind that character, I see something that connects both of us, love. And I'm coming from a space of a
Yep.
very open heart. There's really no intention. I just want to connect to that love, that
Yeah,
behind that. So if my intentions are pure, and that's been my experience on LinkedIn,
yeah,
I will be able to tap into that.
yeah,
That's just
exactly.
how I see it.
I do too, and I wanna tell everybody one fun story about this. We had our first initial just chat call about being on the podcast, and I remember you saying to me, I can't remember if it was in an email, but I remember the words were so you your the way that I talked about my kids. Like you commented
Yes.
on the love and
Oh
just
my
how it came
goodness.
through. And I remember thinking that was so special for you to share that you got that moment from me because
Yes.
I always say I have a fucked up life, but that's because I've got my faith, my family, my football, my food, my fun,
Right.
all these things. And so you and I kind of connected and you picked up on that and you commented on it. And that was such a special moment that you gave to me.
Oh, wow.
It was
Yes,
so powerful to me.
I think the first time I listened to the first episode of the podcast, and I literally could feel the beautiful love and dynamic going on between your daughter and your son and your son. And I'm like, what? And your children are so self-aware. And I'm like, whoa, I wasn't even this self-aware at that age. I'm like, she's doing a great job as a mother. Like, what the hell? I just love the bond. So I just want to say thank you again for raising amazing kids. Thank you.
Oh, well,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much.
Oh,
Thank
well,
you.
I think, producer Ken sitting over there going, "Hmm." No, but that was it's so funny because you and I just, to put this in perspective for everyone, you and I were just strangers who connected on LinkedIn. We had
Yes.
that reach out and, out of that came this again, it was such a beautiful moment for me for you to take the time to say those that sentiment to me and
Yes.
it meant the world. And so I think that's even just a wonderful display of how human connection and opening your heart, and to your point,
Yes.
getting yourself in the right mind to be able to accept that
Yes.
can be so powerful.
Very, very powerful. I truly believe in the power of human connection. It is boundless. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just amazing. Oh, well, I wanted to make sure I shared that tonight because it's stuck with me. So know that all of this time that the moment
Wow.
has just really stuck with me and you really
Wow.
impacted me. So, the other thing I'm curious to hear about, because it sounds like you've had a great mentor in your life who kind of was just like really powerful. Share a little bit more about how mentors have played that role in your life.
So should you say that question again?
Yeah, how have mentors played an important role in your life? Like, share a little bit more about that experience.
Oh wow. Thank you so much for sharing, for asking that question. Um Mentors to me are like mirrors. They help me shine light on the parts of myself that I'm not, my blind spots. So for me, a mentor doesn't even have to be someone who called themselves a mentor. It could be you, it could be Ken. For me, in my mind, everyone is my teacher. Because if I interact with you or interact with Ken, and I feel a trigger. This is how I navigate my own experience. I feel a trigger when talking to you. It's not you, Emily. It's what you said triggered something in me that I have to go sit with. Where is this story coming from? And I will thank you. Thank you, Emily, for being a mentor, a mirror. But I see everyone as mentors and
Yeah.
mirrors in my life because the more I interact with people and I feel the trigger, I know, oh, that's my cue to sit down with it, embrace the story, question where this belief is coming from,
Yeah.
and navigate that path. So everyone around me are mirrors and mentors and teachers. But that's how I
That is
navigate life.
I love that because I'm always it's so funny, we're connecting it. So, the funny part is I always say, it's a big word, right? Mentor, coach, it's a big word, but it truly can be sitting with somebody for 5 minutes because you're learning, like, to your point, you're hearing, you're kind of that mirror and looking at the reflection and understanding what they have that you're trying to consume and understand. So, I love that perspective on mentorship. That's so cool.
Thank you so much. I
That is
appreciate it.
that is awesome. The other thing I just wanted to make sure we talked a little bit about is your book. The truth is, I do not know.
Hmm.
Tell me about your book.
Oh yes. So the I'll give a little backstory on how I came up with the title. So I finished experiencing the 1 week of sitting with my emotions, and I got this nudge to write a book.
Mhm.
And prior to that, I am a book nerd. I love reading books on brain science, spirituality, and just life in general.
Yeah.
I'm that kind of person. But when I was done writing the book and I was looking for a title, I got stuck. And I'm somebody that loves sitting in silence, just to observe my thoughts.
Mhm.
So around 3 a.m. one morning, I was just sitting and I'm like, damn, I don't have a title. And I was just sitting, and there was this nudge that came through to me and said, trash all those books that you have because you don't know anything. And I was like, wait, what?
Where'd that come from?
Now, so here's the thing. And that's why I came up with a perspective of everyone is my teacher.
Mhm.
I always wake up every day as a childlike. I'm going to learn something new in this world. I never get to a point in my life where I have arrived. That's the mentality that I used to have when I used to read, I'm so smart. And I was like, no, you're not. No, you're not. And it really humbled me to just be open and approach everyone and everything and see that they're teaching me something about myself if I can simply just pay attention. I mean, really be present to what that person is saying. And that's when the title came. The truth is, I do not know. I really don't. But every day I'm very open to new perspective, connecting with human beings. But yeah, that's how the title came and really forced me to shift my perspective and see everyone and everything as a teacher, as a mirror, as a mentor, as a coach. But yeah, that's how that title came. And I share fun tools to make people's life less complicated. I'm very big on fun, but yeah.
Yeah. Amazing. Okay, so how can we buy your book? Is it out on Amazon, on your website?
It's on Amazon. It's available on Audible and hard copy.
That's amazing. We're gonna link a direct, link to, your book in the show notes. So we'll make sure that that's part of the show
Yay!
notes, get it out to Amazon, and, that's ama I love I love the title. It's
Yeah.
just the fun part is because nobody knows everything, right? And sometimes the truth is, I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, but I'm gonna try. Yeah, and I love the fact that it's full of those tools, that's
Yeah.
just so important to have as a reference.
Yes, it is. It is.
Oh,
It is.
that's amazing. Alright, well, we here at the podcast, we're a global podcast, and, I really want you to share something with the audience and the world, something that they should know about, the mindfuck and your perspective on that.
Mm. Be present. Always show yourself compassion. Always show other people kindness. And let's have some fun.
Oh, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. I'm gonna take that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Alright, and what is one thing you wanna make sure our audience knows about you?
Love. That's it. Love.
That's beautiful.
Love. Yeah.
I love that. And, you know how that is important to me, so I connect with that beautiful word.
Yeah.
So and we need more of it.
Yeah, we do. We
We
do.
need more of it in this world, so that's beautiful. Alright, so now, anything fun on the horizon you wanna share with the podcast?
Um, Fun. To be honest, every day in my life is fun, but something that I do every month
Yeah.
is I pick a city and I travel to. I'm traveling to Chicago next month to have some fun.
Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
I love traveling, and I also feel like it's a beautiful way to allow my brain expand on more perspective. And it's just one life. There's not going to be a perfect time to be like, oh yeah, this is the time to travel. At least that's just how I see it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that's the fun thing coming up in my life.
That's super fun. Well, if you ever come to Western New York, you've got to let me know.
Well, you New York?
Yep, Buffalo, Rochester area.
Oh, okay. Because I was in New York City
Ah,
in May. Yeah, I didn't know you. Okay, but now that I know, I'll keep that in mind.
oh, that's awesome. Yeah, we're a little bit of a hike from New York City.
Hey, don't sleep on Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo's great.
Oh, okay. Now that I know, thank you, Ken. I appreciate you.
Buffalo actually has some amazing things going on in it, and Rochester does too. It's kind of fun to see the rebirth of this area. But I love. How do you go about picking which city you're going to go to?
That's a great question. I allow my inner child to guide me. That
All right.
playful version of myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't use logic to go. I was like, okay, where should we go to now, Wanu? Oh yeah, that's
Listen, more people should do that. Actually, that is a very fun thing. Just kind of like close your eyes.
yeah.
Spot. I love that. That is amazing, and what a fun way to go about like different time each month, and
Yeah.
just amazing. That is so great. I love every moment of that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I truly appreciate you, man.
Yeah, well, thank you for being on the show. This has been such an amazing episode. I love when we get to hear people's perspective, especially when we're talking about letting compassion and letting fun and being kind to ourselves, because we are so hard on ourselves every single day. So I just love your thoughts. Taking a moment, letting that kind of pass. And I also love when I asked you those questions, how you took that same breath in and really connected to what the response was going to be. So I thought that was really
Thank
lovely.
you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you for being here tonight. Producer Ken, thanks for being on the show.
You got it.
Thank you, Ken. I appreciate you, Ken.
And we're also super appreciative to Go Art here in Batavia. They let us use this beautiful podcast studio. You can see a little bit of the mural back there, and we're gifted the use of the studio through a grant that they have made available to us here at the podcast. We're really appreciative of our local community support as well. They've been amazing to us, and amazing soul. You are just that. You are an amazing, beautiful person, and thank you so much for sharing your story and your perspective. I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I really do appreciate you taking some time tonight to be here with us.
Same here. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you too, and thank you to all of the listeners. Whether it's your first time here, we appreciate you joining. If you're a longtime listener, hey, we really appreciate that. Thank you so much, everybody. I hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank
Yay.
you. Bye.